Her daughter says to her, Mommy, is this skirt tznius? Right? And it's like, not even close, right? That was the question. Is this tznius? And we have a lot of parents that at some point in the spiral, they asked you things. You know, is it okay? Is it considered good enough? Is this all right? So the mother looks at this girl who was in Beis Yaakov for all the years, who had the same chinuch as the mother did, who knows good and well, by the way, where her knee is. Okay? She doesn't have that kind of a problem of a knee disorder or a movable knee that constantly changes location. She knows her knee, she knows her skirt length, and she's saying, is this tznius? So the mother told her, right, because she didn't ask me first, the mother told her in a loving way, right, to be honest, if you're asking me, no, that's not even close, right, thanks for playing, we got some great prizes for you backstage. Tell them what they've won, Johnny. No, actually, it's not tznius. Okay. So I asked the mother afterwards, and then she changed? She said, no. So I said, let me tell you what you just did. She's struggling. She's struggling. But she wants to be tsanua. She wants to be tznius because she heard her whole life, the last few years, how tznius is you're Bas Yisrael, and it means you're part of the Kehillah and Klal Yisrael and all of that. So she's struggling with this, and she's saying, am I still in? Am I still part of this Beis Yaakov movement? Is Sarah Shanir still going to be sending me a Rosh Hashanah card? Thank you for being part of it. Or am I done? And you basically, in a nice way, you said, no, you're not a Bas Yisrael anymore. You're not Sanua. You're out. You did kares. You karesed her from being part of Erlecha Klal Yisrael. And I told the raya is, why is she asking you? She knows where her knee is, and she knows where the skirt is, and she knows what the law is, and she knows everything. So why is she asking you? Because she's trying, she's holding on to it. And she's saying, is it? Am I still? No? Okay, so now she walks outside anyway. It wasn't an innocent question, because some parents say, maybe they really want to know. Maybe they really, everybody's done that, right? But they asked me, should I go to sleep at night and wake up during the day? But they asked me, They know everything. There's no chesar in Yediyah, there's no chesar in Havana. They're the same chinuch that you did, maybe even better. Right? Okay. So she was really just wanting, I'm going to go out like this, but am I still part of the movement, the Beis Yaakov movement? Am I still a good meidel? And you said, honestly, no. And then she went out anyway. But she went out now as, I am no longer part of this Beis Yaakov movement, which I really would love to be a part of. So the mother asked me, okay, but what should I have said? So this is the chiddush that I came up with. And tell me what you think. Are you an Erlich Yid? Yes. You get 100 on everything? No. You never talk Lashon Hara? I don't want to talk about myself, but my friend talks a lot of Lashon Hara. Yankee, he talks a lot. I never talk Lashon Hara. But Yankee talks a lot of Lashon Hara. So he's not an Erlich Yid? He's an Erlich Yid. He struggles in Lashon Hara. We're all Erlich Yid, and we're all in the box, Shayman Torah Mitzvahs. So we don't want to be out of this box, but we're not perfect. So we grew accustomed to, in Lashon Hara category, I'm 60%. I'm 80%. I'm not 100% perfect. That's why we go to Yom Kippur and we do the Al-Chetz for all the different things that we're not perfect about. Now, I thought it was just me, but I looked around shul. I noticed everybody doing the same thing. I felt very comfortable. I'm like, oh, I'm in the right place. Because if I would go to a shul with a bunch of all the tzaddikim, and I'm the only guy, I would be like, like in Shabbos, when everybody's Slachlanu, right? It was just me. Right? It's like, that's what they say. When do you only hit yourself one time by Slachlanu? Friday night by shul. Right, by Marav, right? Shabbos is the only time you do once. It's like one, it's like, oh, it's like, it's mosquito here. Got you, okay. Right? So I was doing this, and I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, go, not just me. So what do? We understand we have to do tshuva. You don't become ois Erlich Yid, you don't walk around in shul and say, how you doing? Say, well, I have to cut off my payas, take off my shramel, because I just did an Aveira. No, that's part of being an Erlich Yid. So when it comes to tznius, though, there's a black line. there's a red line, or whatever color line you really want it to be. There's a line, right? Tznius says still here. In here, you're not tznius. And that's the truth, because it has to cover here. If you miss the mark, you miss the mark. You're not sanua. There's a line. Fine, I'm not against that, and that's the line, and that's where if you're in the game, and you're able to, and you're from, and you're healthy, that if you want to know what is considered covered, it's still here. No elbows, no knees. Uncovered. Hang, right? Oh, hold on. That's officially the line. Fine, okay? But now let's go to somebody who's struggling. And there are plenty of reasons why girls struggle with wearing clothing. Because our kips, Nebuch, Rachmana litzlan le'aleinu, who go through so much trauma and abuse, they dress with less clothing than Goyim. It could be in the winter, and they're not wearing clothing. The Goyim could cover up, our kids can't. So there's something psychological, I believe, if you really know them, it's always trauma, it's always abuse. There's such the chaylim and the putter, and it's not fine. But the bottom line is, they're struggling. So if the girl has her sleeve here, why do we say she's not sanua? Say she's 60% sanua. On the tznius test, you got a 60. Just like on the Gemara test, I got a 60. And just like on the Lashon Hara test, somebody gets a 60. We don't say you're oisid, we say you're tznius, you're 60% tzniustik. So it's a shtickl chiddush. And I'm not saying we should go to Beis Yaakov and we should say tznius is here, but if you get 80% or 60%, it's 65 is a failing grade. We can't do that, because there's a line. And if you miss the line, for the healthy people, if you want to know what the halacha is because you're healthy and you want to do it, it's all the way. But for a struggling soul, why tell them you failed? It's not pass or fail. Say, I see that you're struggling with sneeze. I would say this is like a 70% sneeze. You got a 70. Like this, she's still in Klal Yisrael. And we recognize that she's struggling. Now, look at the outcome, how different it is. Because if I'm bankrupt and I'm not part of this, right, so then I'm done. But if I'm still a Beis Yaakov Meidel, I'm still part of Klal Yisrael, I'm still a yeshiva bacher, but I'm struggling and I got an 80, I got a 60, I got a 40, so I'm still in the game. So that's going to give me the CHIZUK to try, when I can, to be better. Now, really, it's the same thing for a diet. If you go to your dietitian after 2 weeks, and you give that list. Anybody ever give that list? It's like they ask you to speak Lashon Hara on yourself. There's nothing more painful. Tell us every sin you did, every morsel of food that you ate. Okay, well, I'm no fool, because I'm not telling her anything. So I'm like, no, I did great. The scale says differently, Mr. Fishoff. You might want to rethink what you gave me here, okay? So you go ahead and you say, listen, do you want your dietitian to tell you, you're a failure, you're out of my program, you're done? Or do you want to say, you did pretty well, you got a 50 this week. Next week, let's try for 55. I see you're struggling here. You know where I pinpoint the struggle is basically after your spouse goes to sleep. That seems to be the place. So we're gonna have a thing that when your spouse goes to sleep, you're gonna go ahead and drink 8 cups of water and eat a whole watermelon. Maybe that's gonna help. I identify the problem. I'm working with you. You're still part of my program. But if we say you're not a Beis Yaakov Meidel, you're done. You're not from. You're off the derech. Then it's like, whoa, I'm done. Now, how does this apply to everybody? First of all, we know that our kids are super great kids. They're sweet, they're smart, they're struggling, there's so much emotional pain. We have to make sure, not even in our own machshava, to take them out of Klal Yisrael. We have to make sure not even in any way to make them feel like you're out, we're done. You're no different than me. And when I worked with the Home Sweet Home kids and I knew nothing, there was one thing that for some reason Hashem allowed me to have as a gift from Hashem. I honestly did not think for 1 second that I'm better than them. And that's before I knew that they were abused and before I knew about trauma. I just never had the self-esteem, the gaiva, to think that I'm better than them. Al tadan es chavercha ad shetagi elam kaimai. Have I done as kala adam l'kaf schus? So when they started rolling in the early years, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I had no shita, and I had no idea that they're going to come back, I had no idea they're going to be from. I had no idea. I didn't know anything. I just knew one thing. I feel bad that you're struggling, and I want to help you. And I'm struggling in the things that I struggle. And my friends are struggling. Everybody's struggling. And mi idea, who knows, in Hashem's world, that my struggle is such a beautiful struggle, and theirs, because to us it looks different. They're struggling with Chil Shabbos, they're struggling with eating on Yom Kippur. It's true, but they went through stuff. They're in a different matziv. How do I know in Hashem's world who's bigger than who? Who's better than who? Why do I think that I'm better than them? Like the t-shirt says, don't judge me because I sin differently than you do. Right? So this is before all of that. I went into the parsha not thinking. It helps. I'm not bright, so I don't think anyway too much. Don't think so much. Who asked you to think? Where does it say that you have to think about where this kid is and what it? Just be makarev, ba'avoisei sahava, like the Chazon Ish said, like the Baal Shem Tov said, and don't even in the depths of your mind think that you're any better than any of them. And then you're not going to, even b'machshava, make them feel you're a different category. There's no different categories. There's no different category. There's no from, not from, Orthodox, modern Orthodox. There's no conservative reform. We're all neshamas put down here. We all have to do the best that we can. We all have to be Oymed ben Esayin. We all struggle to be Oymed ben Esayin. And we all need Hashem's mercy to carry us through. That's the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, because nobody's getting a free pass. Nobody's saying, I think I did good this year, Hashem. I'd like only Midas Hadin. Oi, nobody wants me to send in. Right? You look at the whole thing, all the tefillas and tachanun, and saying, Hashem, please, Hashem, have mercy on us. Oh, so my mess-ups are okay, I'm still a Erlich, but because they externally are struggling with deeper things, and externally they don't look, so therefore they're not, it doesn't exist. We're all neshamas, we all have one tafkid and one tachlis, not to be merachik, only to be makarev, only to include and not to look down on anybody. What do you think about my chiddush? Can we say such a thing that you're not sneistic, you're 60% sneistic, you're 50% sneistic. Now I'm not saying to go say and don't tell that to your kids. In that kind of a matzav, when she asked, say, yeah, you're trying, it's hard for you. Hashem knows it's hard for you. Let's all try our best.